Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen my face yet, it belongs to me, Sophie, Sophia, whatever you wanna call me. Today's video, as I promised, I'm gonna show you the rest of the books I gave 5 stars to. First book I'm gonna mention is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I mentioned this book on my first video, which was 9 books you should read if you want to get into reading. Basically, it's a story of 5 teenagers who get into detention. One of them is Simon, who owns this gossip blog about the whole school, and he's in detention. And he dies in detention. So basically, the whole book you try to discover what happened, and you have the 4 POVs of the other 4 teenagers that were with him on detention that day. And again, I'm gonna say it, I read this book in 4 hours. This book is one of the best books I've ever read. Special. This book is something else. I want to read more thriller mystery books because of this one. So the next set of books I'm gonna talk about, there's 2 different series, but they're all from the same world. So the first book I'm gonna talk about is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. God, I've read this book on the end of 2020. It's the story of Hannah and Garrett. Garrett is this super cliche boy that plays sports, hockey more precisely, and she's the good girl who gets good grades. They are in the same class, in one of the same classes in college, and she's nailing the class and he's failing the class, and he needs to nail the class too so he can keep playing hockey. And he's like, oh my gosh, that girl, she gets good grades in this class, so I'm gonna ask her to tutor me. And she's at first she's like, no, I have no time. But they make a deal, and he's like, okay, I know you have no time, but you can tutor me and I'll help you get with the boy. Of course, she doesn't get with that guy and they fall in love with each other. Again, Garrett is one of my favorite boyfriends ever. Garrett Graham, how do you like your eggs in the morning? Because I'll make them for you. Anna and Garrett are literally my favorite couple from all of the books I've read. I love a super cliche book. It's a super easy read. The next book I'm gonna talk about, it's on the off-campus series too, and it's The Score, the 3rd book on this series, and it's Ellie's and Dean's story. Ellie is Hannah's best friend from the first book, and Dean is in the same hockey team as Garrett from the first book. And Ellie just broke up with her boyfriend, and he keeps kind of bothering her, and Hannah is not staying home that night because her and Garrett are going on vacation or something. Garrett just calls in and he's like, okay, Ellie's gonna stay there, please don't bother her, don't hit on her, she's just gonna stay there because she doesn't want her boyfriend to bother her, please don't bother her too. And something happens that time between them, and basically the whole book is them trying to figure out what situation they're in. And Dean is hilarious, and I think that's the reason why I gave this book 5 stars, because of their banter and stuff. So the next book I'm gonna recommend, it's from this world, but it's from the spin-off series of Off Campus, which is Briar You. You have more 4 books, which is Briar You. They're in the same world. There's characters from the first 4 books. One of the books I gave 5 stars to in this series, it's The Risk, which is the 2nd one, and it's Brenna's and Jake's story. Brenna is the daughter of the hockey coach. She loves hockey, she knows everything about hockey. Again, this is a story with Jake, and Jake plays hockey at Harvard, which is an enemy to Briar You. The things he does for her, the way he treats her, I won't settle for less than Jake. And Brenna is such a badass. I want to be Brenna. I aspire to become Brenna. Book I gave 5 stars to on this whole series was the last one, which is the most underrated book I've ever read. Basically, it's the story about Taylor and Connor. Basically, Taylor, I love Taylor. The issues she's dealing with, I think that's the reason I gave this book like 5 stars. I relate so much to the issues she's dealing with. She is like in this sorority house, and like the girls in the sorority house are kind of mean to her. They are making like a game of truth or dare. Oh, I'll dare you to kiss Connor or to hook up with Connor. Connor is like a super handsome hockey player with abs. He hears all of this and is like, okay, don't worry, I'll got this. So they get into a room and they pretend they hook up, which they didn't. They faked. So the whole book is literally them kind of fake dating each other. Their dynamic, he's so cute with her. Like, she's like such a likable character. And I love this book and I gave it 5 stars. And I'll reread it someday because I miss them. What I'm gonna show you is Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney. Again, the book is so special. The way Sally Rooney writes is so unique, it's so special. Her characters are so special, so well built, so strongly developed, so strongly written. 5 stars. I had to give it 5 stars. Search up trigger warning. It's the story of Frances, who has like a best friend called Bobby. They meet a couple, like a married couple of kind of well-off, Nick and Melissa. Nick is an actor, Melissa is a writer, I think. Nick's and Melissa's marriage is a really strange situation, a really strange topic. This is the affair between Frances and Nick. Next book I'm gonna talk about is Trust Again by Mona Kesson. Search up trigger warnings. Like, it's the second book on the Again series by Mona Kesson. I've read 3 of them. I've read the first one, which is Begin Again, and then I've read Trust Again, which is the second book, and then I read Feel Again, which is the third book. This is Trust Again. I don't hear people talking about this book. I don't hear people on TikTok, on YouTube, whatever platform, talking about this book. And I think the reason why it's because it hasn't been translated to English. I read it in Portuguese. Hi, this is Editing Sophie here. What I was trying to say is that I don't hear people talking about this book either on TikTok or YouTube because it hasn't been translated to English, I'm pretty sure. You have it in French, you have it in German, since the author of the book is German herself, and you have it in Spanish and you have it in Portuguese. But I'm pretty sure the book isn't available in English. So if you know any of those languages, please go read this book. Yeah, back to the video. I love them. They're one of my favorite book couples. This is a story of Dawn and Spencer. They're in the same friend group as the characters on the first book. Spencer never dated. She has been in a really long-term relationship. They kind of broke up. He always took some kind of interest in Dawn. Bubbly and stuff. She's like super cute. Always messing with her, and we could be more than friends and stuff. He's like super cute with her. This book, I didn't expect it to be the way it was. Like, the whole story, it's so much more intense than what you think. Like, I didn't think I was gonna read this. The books are so well written. The stories are tragic in the perfect way. We'll take this book to the grave with me. And then we have the third book on the series, which was the last book on the series I've read. I think there's 2 more, but I'm waiting for them to be translated to Portuguese. One of the few books I've read that are Grumpy Sunshine, but the Sunshine one is a boy and the Grumpy one is a girl. It's also like nerd guy, popular girl. Story of Sawyer and Isaac. And Sawyer is Dawn's roommate from the previous book I told you about. She's like this badass who doesn't need anyone, but that kind of affects her. Like, her thinking she doesn't need anyone leads her to do stupid things. Their build up, their whole story. Isaac is just this nerd guy who does everything right. He's a super good guy, super cute guy. He's so generous, so kind. The way I feel about this book. The wastebook I gave 5 stars to. It's a really expected one, and it ends with us by Colin Hoover. Literally every person I know has given this book like 5 stars or a really high rating. I'm one of those people. A special story. Look up trigger warnings. It's the story of Lily who meets Ryle, a surgeon, and he's really like stubborn, and she meets him on a night that something happens in her life. So basically the book is her story progressing with Ryle. The thing is, she is in the city as her first love, her ex-boyfriend, and she finds her. It's her navigating through, oh my gosh, I've met this incredible guy. Now my first love is here, what am I gonna do? And you can see how she meets Atlas, which is her first love, and how they fell in love and their whole story. And the moment I finished this book, I was like, 5 stars. These are all the books I gave 5 stars to. Probably gonna do another video of 5-star reads because I'm sure I'm gonna read more books that I give 5 stars to. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you wanna see more videos from me, just like, subscribe. Go follow me on all of my socials, including Goodreads and Storygraph, because I have all of my 5-star reads list. Tomorrow is September 21. Tomorrow the Legacy comes out. But now, bye. I love you.